Hello everyone, I've got a slightly different episode for you today. My recording software kind of did something weird on me, so I do not have the original, what am I trying to say? The original commentary that I provided was lost, so instead I'll be doing some post-commentary. And also, Julia Davidson says, play as Koopa Troopa because he is the best. So, we'll be playing as Koopa Troopa, and we'll play on the bullet bike just to give myself a little bit of a break. So, let's go ahead and get started. So this was the first race that I did. It's always nice to start in last on Warriors Gold 9, because then you can get up and get the item on the side, which in this case was a golden. And this entire race, you'll see me kind of running into walls a little bit. That's because I'm not very used to the turning on the bullet bike. It's much sharper than, well, okay, it's much sharper than the other outside drift bikes that I was using, but it's also sharper than like the mock bikes turning or the flare emitters turning, which are the two inside drift bikes I'm most comfortable with, naturally. So this entire race is just me getting used to the bullet bike, almost falling off a couple of times, and definitely falling off at least, I think twice maybe. Accidentally jump over that. What you want to do on that panel is you want to jump and hit the very edge of it, and I just jumped completely over it, so that was a complete fail on my part. And here, yeah, like I said, I'm still getting used to the handling on the bike, so I just completely fall off. Wonderful. So yeah, I'm in second now. And I think, oh! I'm still reacting like I was originally. I don't even remember what happens. Oh, this is, wow. That, I remember that. I was extremely excited for that. That was probably about the closest thing that happens in this series, so far at least. That was a really close save. But anyway, I've taken back first now, and getting bloopered for it, which is no matter. I forgot that there was a banana there last lap, but it's gone now, so that's fine. Now I'm just completely avoiding that side ramp, because I've been wrecked by it so many times. POW comes, I can dodge it. No problem. Except, I do turn my head right there, so I do run into the wall. Someone was walking behind me, and I wanted to see who it was. Very professional, I know. But I think the rest of this race is, goes without a hiccup. I do get past here, but I do take it back, just because the shortcut is faster. And I do get stuck behind this pillar at the end. This has been something that I've been trying to do the entire series so far, but if you get stuck behind this pillar, you eventually die and then just respawn back, which is very interesting. So yeah. Ooh, post-commentating is hard. Anyway, here's the third race that I did. This was Mario Raceway, and I decided to play this one from the back, so you'll see me stop here for a bit. And I wanted to get mushrooms to show off some shortcuts, but instead I get the bullet here. I get the bullet, which is not what I wanted, so I decided I'm just going to hold it, and actually Mario's in a Mega, so I try to let him squish me, but he misses me, unfortunately. Here I decide I'm just going to, drive into the wall and use the bullet. Maybe that'll give me less distance, maybe I can still get mushrooms. But it lasts a really long time, and it brings me all the way up to third. And here I try to go for the trick on the side, but I completely miss. So I'm not driving the best. I get bumped into the grass. Not only once, but twice. And so I'm in a back position again, which is a good place to get mushrooms. And I do pull mushrooms, which is great. Now I can show off some shortcuts. But Luigi wheelie bumped me here. Wonderful. Thanks, Luigi. Yeah, you deserve it. And so I take this initial cut, and that one saves a lot of time. That's definitely the best place on this track to use a mushroom. And then I decide to use one here, which isn't the best use, and then here, which is probably about the best three spots I could have used it, but the execution was a little poor. And once again, I'm still not used to the drift on this bike. Whew. So start a third lap, you get a fake item box. Not very helpful. I'll throw it backwards. And then I get triple bananas, which is probably about the best item that you can get in first. I'm just going to hold on to these, and here I see a mushroom off to the side. It might be worth it to go for it. I'm not entirely sure. I do go for it, because who cares? I'm in first. And here I actually blocked the red shell with the piranha plant on the side, so I didn't lose a banana, but then they all got powder out of me, so it didn't even matter. And yeah, it's pretty much smooth sailing up to first place. So at this point, I've gotten first every single race, which is wonderful. I mean, there's only been 3 races, but I've gotten first every single race, so that's good. And now we're on DK Summit. I wanted to throw in at least one DK Summit race from this batch of 32, because I actually do manage to pull off the double shortcut, and I wanted to show what it looks like. So this race might not be terribly interesting, except I do pull off the double shortcut at least once. I think I pull it off all 3 laps. Anyway, I dodged that red shell by making it hit the side of the large section of snow that's on the side that you can ramp off of. That's a wonderful thing about red shells in this game, is that they're very easy to trick. And it's not like you can always trick... Oh, there's the double shortcut I was talking about. It's not like you can always trick a red shell, but you can trick them just enough that it's an achievement when you do, and it's fun, you know? That's completely unlike Mario Kart 8, where you can't dodge any red shell. Actually, yeah, you can't really dodge any red shells in Mario Kart 8, unless you have an item. Here I completely miss the blue panel, so I just kind of go flying off, but that does not entirely matter since I'm front-running this race against computer players. So you'll notice that I slow down right before I attempt the double shortcut. If I were to go full speed into that, I would completely overshoot the first landing, and I would not have enough time to drift into the second one. So it's very important that I slow down there, and depending on the vehicle, I would probably have to slow down more. Here, I wait for a blue shell to enter the cannon because you can't get hit by a blue shell inside the cannon, which is very nice. That's also unlike Mario Kart 8, which is stupid. Yeah, with other vehicles you would slow down sooner because the bullet bike has a pretty high acceleration stat compared to other vehicles. So I don't slow down too much because it'd be pointless anyway. But with other vehicles you'd want to slow down earlier and then drive forward for just a little bit to build up a high enough speed that's not your top speed, but it is still fast enough to clear that initial gap. And at this point, I'm still getting first every race. That's 8 races in a row with first place. You can tell by the 120. And then we got Toad's Factory in here. What even happens this race? I don't remember. Oh well, I guess we'll find out. You see me dally a little bit in the beginning. If you just go full bore ahead, you're going to hit one of the smashers in the middle. So, oftentimes you'll see someone, not on a time trial, but in a general other race, you'll see them slow down at the beginning just so they can get that cycle. And here I just am completely bad at turning again. I don't know why that happened. And here I'm going to go for the lake cut, where you can trick off the side here and cut across the lake, but I haven't done it in so long that I completely forgot what inputs to throw in. So I forgot to... Normally what you want to do is you want to drift to the right, and then as soon as you get in the air, you're going to hold left on the analog stick. And that's just to get more air, and I completely forgot to do that. So, that's awkward. Here I'm trying to hunt down Wario, and I'm honestly surprised at how long this Thundercloud lasts, but I do manage to pin him right there, and that's wonderful. It's probably not worth it, because I hit his green shell, and then it right afterwards gets blued. I probably should have lagged behind for a third place, but how could I know that the blue shell was coming, so whatever. Here I get a bomb, which is like, what do I do with that? I can't really hit Wario with this low ceiling. And here he rams me into the wall. I was going to try to do the late cut again, but I absolutely had no chance of getting it then. You might notice that I'm hopping at the end of the last ramp. That's to hopefully get a low trick, which I don't think I managed to pull off. A low trick will allow you to get less air off of a ramp, and there's only a couple of ramps that you can get low tricks off, or at least are easy enough for humans to get low tricks off of. Basically, anytime you're in the air in this game, it's slower than being on the ground. So, you want to be in the air for the least amount of time as possible. And doing a low trick, I failed the late cut again. Doing a low trick allows you to get to the ground faster, and then you go faster because you're on the ground. So that's why you see me hopping there. I don't think... Nope, I don't make it this lap. So it's unfortunate, but that's why I'm doing it. You probably see me do it on other ramps. I was trying to do that in Warriors Gold Mine earlier. And speaking of Warriors Gold Mine, we see it again. This is the second time I'm playing through it, the 17th track. And I think this one's a little more interesting than me just kind of running into walls. Immediately Toad passes me and then just kind of hits a rail and dies, so I don't know what's up with that, but... Pretty tame race so far. Oh, yeah, I remember what happens this race now. Okay. So I do go for the shortcut again. It's always faster to go for the shortcut on Mario Kart Wii. On Mario Kart 8, it's actually slower, which is kind of funny, but... whatever, I guess. Do whatever you want, Nintendo, but... I don't know, it seems like a shortcut should always be faster. Anyway, here I completely fail, I forget to trick, and that's happened to me so many times this series so far. I really should be better at that, but the computers actually do pass me here, and here I think this star's nowhere near me, but it actually almost hits me, which is very scary. And then here is where the interesting thing happens. I get a mushroom. And I've mentioned this in the first episode, but I used to practice a speedrun in this game that has glitches. So there's a glitch on Warriors Gold Mine that requires a mushroom, usually, where you jump into that pipe over there with a mushroom. Here, I am not entirely sure what happens. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to this vehicle, but if that would have been the Flame Runner and the Mach Bike, I probably would have made it. And then here I get a golden, so, I mean, all of my previous mistakes don't even matter that much. So, that's a great thing about this game. But this turn is always scary. Especially when you're mushrooming. It just doesn't feel right. Here I get past the TC, which is wonderful. I have to slow down and try to hit Mario again. Which I managed to do, but at that point Luigi's far enough ahead that I really can't get first anymore. But I do get second, and I do try to get stuck behind this pillar again, but he manages to squirm himself free. Yes. Okay, Mushroom Gorge now. This one I decide I'm also going to play for the back, and I'm gonna try to do the glitch on this one as well, just to see if I get mushrooms here, and I do get a golden mushroom, which is alright, I suppose. And I've got a pretty good system for doing the Mushroom Gorge glitch, but here I just completely missed the mushroom pad, so I can't go for that. If anyone doesn't know the Mushroom Gorge glitch, you can bounce off that mushroom and ride the wall that's right next to the finish line. You can ride it to the end of the lap, and then just finish the lap, and it counts as a full lap. And that was a lot of times to say lap. Whew. Anyways, now I've got the bullet. On this track, you want to use a bullet over mushroom pad sections, because that is the fastest. Mushrooms slow you down quite a lot. They're fun to trick on, but they slow you down quite a bit. And here I just demonstrate that I've got the off-road glitch. I can drive off-road without losing speed. Wonderful. And here I try to preserve it by not going off that ramp, but I just completely miss. So, oops. Back in 12th. Well, now 11th. I don't opt to go for an item here, which I probably should have, but I instead go the fast route for that mushroom section. I guess I can get an item here, so it doesn't entirely matter, but... And here I get triple reds. I was hoping for mushrooms to do the gap jump, but triple reds in 8th. That's not a very good item. So you'll see me hold on for a bit after this Goomba section, and then I'll just go ahead and wreck Wario. Wario hurt me in another race, so I'm kind of got a vengeance against Wario now. Kind of like Bowser in the first couple episodes. Here I get a TC. I don't think I can reach Mario in front of me, so I decide to slow down. And Wario runs right into me, which is wonderful. I would have expected it to be harder to hit him, but he hit me, so that's all good. And then I get a star, so you know what? Star Bash Wario, of course. What else are you gonna do? Coming up at the end here, I do manage to accidentally use one of my mushrooms, but I do have one left for the gap jump, and I do make it, which is wonderful, so I do get 5th. Oh. The pack was really close that race, but it was kind of split into 2 packs. Top 5 and then the rest, so I don't think I could have made it any further. And that was all the races. I will probably not do too many more like this post-commentary. I do like to stick to the live commentary. It is just easier for me to think of interesting things to say. And also, I don't know how many times I will use the inward drifting bike. It was a little more boring than normal, so maybe I will just stick to outward drifting vehicles. We'll see. Or at least not the common bullet bike, mock bike, flame runner. We'll probably use something more interesting than that, so... Thanks everyone for watching, and have a good day. Dear Lord, I just thank you for today. I pray that you help us to put our faith and our trust in you today. Help us to not look towards worldly things for our hope and for our faith, Lord, but help us to believe in you and what you have for us. In your name I pray. Amen.